Hey guys, this is Jackie from Jack Gets Lost on a Book Haul. So I'm basically dressed the same way because I am filming a whole bunch of videos now. Um, so I am going to do this. I decided to do the Stephen King book tag. Normally I plan this ahead of time, or at least think about the answers ahead of time, but I decided to improvise and not have the answers ahead of time and just see what I can think of. This might end up the answers might be close to a lot of the books I've recently read that I'm currently excited about. Like when I try to answer these tags, I always try to draw attention to the books that I'm not like super excited. Like I try not to do too many answers with the same referring to the same book. Like doing too many answers where the answer has to do with the ACOTAR series or anything by Sarah J. Maas essentially, or whatever I'm obsessing over. I try to mix it up. So I'm going to answer these questions, and hopefully I won't have too many answers that are referring to what's popular. Okay, so question number 1 is Stephen King. Highly praised author you believe deserves the hype. I'm going to go with George R. R. Martin. I really like his writing. Now, I haven't read any of his other stuff beyond the Song of Ice and Fire series, but that series is awesome. I love the politics, the history. I think all the characters are incredibly interesting. Even the ones that I can't really relate to. I love all the characters. I really enjoy reading about all the characters. I mean, I admit there are probably some perspectives that I get bored with, but I also really like his writing style, like the details he puts in. I mean, yes, it's very dense. It takes me a long time to read, but it's very interesting. That's like I love historical politics. I just don't like today's politics because it's something I have to deal with, and I don't want to read about what's going on in my real life. Now, of course, I know it's fantasy, so it's not actual historical fiction, but it kind of has a historical inspired setting, which I really think is cool. Some of my favorite characters are like Arya, Tyrion, Sansa. Yes, I like Sansa. Cersei. Who else do I like? Jon, Samuel Tarly. It's so great. I definitely, after I get through the series, I think I would like to try reading some of his other works that are beyond the series. But I love those books. He is such a great author, and I actually saw a video where Stephen King and George R. R. Martin talked. I just had a literary discussion in front of an audience, so that was cool. Okay, question number 2. It. A massive book that has been on your TBR forever. I have quite a few of those. A lot of the classics. Let's see. Count of Monte Cristo is one of them. Lord of the Rings. The original series, not. I've read The Hobbit. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and stick with those. Count of Monte Cristo and Lord of the Rings. Question number 3. Carrie. A classic that everyone has read but you. Let's just go with Lord of the Rings. I mean, a lot of people have read Lord of the Rings. I've only read The Hobbit. It's just hard for me to read. Every time I try to attempt that book, the Fellowship of the Ring, I get bored and restless. I mean, it's a great book. I'm sure it's written beautifully, and I'm sure maybe if I got into it and got past the beginning, I would probably enjoy it. But it's a lot harder when I've seen the movies. I mean, I think it's somewhat true when they say that if you've seen the movie version, it's hard to read the book because you're used to the movie. So, Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings trilogy. Question number 4. Misery. Which I almost bought Misery at the bookstore. I was looking for The Shining, and then, I couldn't find the mass paperback edition. I ended up finding the trade back edition. I ended up buying that. I kind of binged and bought like 4 books, but to be fair, it also included some books for my nephews. But I almost bought Misery because it was the mass paperback and it was a little cheaper. But I ended up not buying it. Because I really wanted The Shining. So I do have it on my Christmas list. Yes, I still make Christmas lists. But I mean, how are people gonna know what I want? I know it's not about the gifts, of course. It's about giving to others, and about, for Christians, it's about the birth of Jesus Christ. Although, from what I'm told, historically, that's not accurate. Jesus was not born on Christmas. He probably was born sometime in July. That's what I've heard. But that's what Christmas is about: spending time with your family, about giving to others, and like I said, for Christians, it's about the birth of Jesus. So, but it's a nice little perk to get, you also receive gifts. So Misery, a scary book on your TBR. What's a scary book on my TBR? Well, Count of Monte Cristo is pretty scary because it's so long, and the problem with that one is it's the bigger trade back size. So that's a little more daunting to read. Like I think the mass paperback edition is a little bit better because then you can carry it around and it's smaller, but the print is smaller. That's the only problem with that. But it's not only is Count of Monte Cristo so long, but it's also big in physical size. Charles Dickens can be pretty intimidating. I'm determined to check out Ken Follett. And his books are pretty scary, because they're so big. Now, of course, obviously, when I say scary, I mean like scary as in size. That it's very intimidating. It is pretty scary, but I'm not going to say that. That would be a little cop-out. That would be a cop-out, I feel like, because this is Stephen King book tag. So, yeah, all those books I just mentioned, are pretty scary in their size. Okay, question number 5. This is a really short one. There's only 2 more questions left. Gerald's Game, a book that's about to be adapted for the screen you need to read. I don't know. I'm not really interested in Gerald's Game. Although, no, then I can't say that because they're not asking about Stephen King. This is just a Stephen King book. Okay, well, what's coming out? Let's see, what is coming out? I don't know. I don't know what's coming out right now, based on books. There's gotta be something that they're doing a screen adaptation for. Let's see. Oh, another scary book is probably Thomas Harris's Hannibal books, which I just got 2 of those. It was like a deal. You buy one mystery and then you get another one for free. And it's like the most expensive book is like $4 or $5. It's a used bookstore, so and those books were I think $4. So I got those so I got Hannibal Rising and then Hannibal. So, and unfortunately, they didn't have the other ones. Let's see, what else is being adapted? I need to finish, I guess I could say, I read the first 2 books, but I need to finish The Raven Cycle, because that one is actually going to be adopted into something. So the Raven Cycle. I need to finish The Raven Cycle. I've read the first 2 books. I'm kind of waiting on Blue Lily, Lily Blue. That's the 3rd one, because I want to get the last book first, The Raven King, which again is on my Christmas list. Well, I guess another one would be I need to finish Throne of Glass series because that's going to be a series on Hulu. And my friend gave me access to her Hulu account, so I can watch it on my Mac via her account, thankfully, which I really appreciate that. Now, although I haven't used it yet. Okay, so the last one is 11/22/63. Question number 6, the last question. See, it's a very short tag. So, a book with a historical element that you're excited about. So, I don't know, I guess, is this a book that just came out, or a book that you or one that's coming out? I don't know. I don't know what's coming out. That's historical. But there's a few books recently that are historical based. Ken Follett writes a lot of historical fiction. I'm kind of excited about reading those, even though they're very intimidating. I actually have the Century Trilogy. I have all 3 books, and they're the same size. They're the same ones. They're all the trade paperbacks. So I was able to get those. I'm excited to reread The Night Circus, which has historical elements in it, which it's historical fiction. King's Justice, that's more medieval, so that's kind of historical. Let's see, I have not read East of Eden yet, and I just bought that one because I borrowed it from the library a few weeks ago, and it was taking me too long to finish it, so I finally returned it and decided to buy my own copies of it, my own copy. So I'm kind of excited about that one. I think it has kind of a 1800s setting, so I'm kind of curious about that. So, I really like how one of Cassie Clare's series, The Infernal Devices, has historical elements. So not only is it fantasy with a little bit of steampunk with the automatons, it also is historical, which I like. There's not a lot of historical fantasy out there. A lot of times, or it's fantasy that takes place in a different world. They don't have historical fantasy that takes place in a real historical period. I mean, you have fantasy that's similar to a real historical period, like Middle Earth. I mean, in fact, I believe Tolkien said that, or that people who are experts on Tolkien have said that his Middle Earth series is kind of like a time in our history that doesn't exist anymore, but it was at some point in our history. Now, it's funny, my friend Terry actually thought I was on another planet or another world, but, we would kind of debate about this. I was like, what, I did not get, I was like, where did you get that? Just because it's fantasy does not mean it's on another planet. So, but I didn't, I waited until she found out before, I tried to control my irritation at her theory, at what she thought it was. Because sometimes I'm like, it's kind of like, really? You think it's on another planet? Really? It's fantasy. It's not your precious ElfQuest, which, I really enjoy ElfQuest, by the way. I recommend that comic series. It's obviously about elves from another planet who come to Earth. And what I love about them is there's magic, but they're not like tall and slender and snobby like the elves of Middle Earth. I think the Middle Earth elves are kind of snobby. No offense. But they're not cute and cute little guys with beards that you want to pinch their cheeks and make cookies and make toys. They're like in between those two. They're cute, but they're also very badass warrior types. It's a good series from the little bit I've read. Like I said, it's a comic book series. So I recommend checking it out. Look up ElfQuest. So but yeah, okay, well, that's it. It's hard. I don't know if there's anything coming out that has a historical element that I'm excited about. So that was a really short tag, and that's the last question. Question number 6. I will find the original creator, and I will post the link to the creator. And if you love Stephen King, then I reckon I tag you to do this tag if you haven't already. Oh, bye.